in Kerala after senior CPIM leader AK Balan claimed that if the Congress-led United Democratic Front came to power, the Home Department would be handled by the Jamaat-e-Islami. Now, speaking in Palakkad, Balan has said that such a situation would lead to not just one or two Murad-style riots, and alleged that the Indian Union Muslim League and the RSS were taking positions that would aid this entire outcome. So the pitch that's coming in from the left is that there's been a clear polarization underway in the state of Kerala, with the RSS on one side and the Congress party allying with communal forces, as it claims, the Jamaat-e-Islami as well as the IUML. The remark drew sharp reactions from the Kerala Assembly leader of the opposition, V.D. Satishan, who said that the left leader's remarks were akin to the BJP and the Sangh Parivar strategy to create divide between the majority as well as the minority community. He further stated that the agenda of the BJP and the RSS was to use Balan's statements to trigger anti-Muslim sentiments for electoral gains. The Kerala BJP chief Rajiv Chandrasekhar has cited this as a dangerous trend in Kerala politics, contending that this was a symbol of the growing influence of radical organizations in the state, and also stated that it is the same ideology that controls the Congress party. Listen in.
A CPM state leader made a statement against the UDF that he said, if the UDF comes to power, the Jamaat-e-Islami will control the home portfolio. That is the beginning of a hate campaign initiated by the CPM.
Growing influence of parties and organizations like the Jamaat and the formalized alliances that Jamaat-e-Islami is having with political parties like the Indian Union Muslim League, which are in effect controlling the Congress, are a matter of concern for every Malayali.
So let's get to our guest to decode this further. I'm joined by Navya Haridas, President of the Mahila Morcha of the Kerala BJP, as well as Sebastian Paul, leader of the left. Thank you for joining us on the broadcast. Mr. Paul, when it comes to this entire saber rattling, that's coming in from the left camp over the links between the Congress as well as the Jamaat-e-Islami, it's a bit strange given the fact that I remember that the Jamaat-e-Islami conducted a rally in support of Palestine, where Khalid Mashal was also given a platform to speak in Malappuram. But at that point, the Jamaat-e-Islami had full support of the state administration when it came to espousing those views against Israel on Kerala soil. Now you're turning around and saying that the Jamaat-e-Islami and the other Islamist forces are a threat to the state. This given the fact that they have given the electoral advantage to the Congress camp. Are you caught between a rock and a hard place when it comes to the electoral realities in the state?
No, the Jamaat-e-Islami is a Muslim outfit. It is not as harmful as we think. In international affairs, in foreign matters, the Jamaat-e-Islami is taking a stand which is in consonance with the stand taken by the CPM or the left parties in India, especially the Palestine issue or Cuba or this Venezuela. All those things, there is a common platform. But we have to remember that the Jamaat-e-Islami's basic premise is to create a Islamic India, like the Hindu India proponent by RSS. But now they may not be proclaiming it publicly because they know it will be futile. Now the Jamaat-e-Islami is in liaison with the Congress party in the coming elections. And in fact, it is in that context, Balan, a veteran CPM leader, he has pointed out the danger in associating with Congress or giving votes to Congress, because he says if Congress wins and forms a government,
right,
it will be the Jamaat-e-Islami which will going to run the
Mr. Paul, just to clarify this point, you're saying that there is some level of an ideological resonance between the Jamaat-e-Islami and the CPM on certain issues, yet still you're taking such a strong stand saying that if the Jamaat-e-Islami, especially the UDF, if it comes to power, the Jamaat-e-Islami will run the Home Department. You can't have an ideological resonance with the Jamaat-e-Islami on issues like Palestine and then turn around and say that if they come to power, there will be those Islamic-style riots that we saw in Murad. Now, That's a pretty strange stand where you are shifting the goalpost again and again when it comes to alliance with the Jamaat-e-Islami on ideological issues.
No, that is not the issue. On certain issues, I get example of Palestine. The Jamaat-e-Islami will take a stand which will be similar to the stand taken by the left parties. That does not mean that ideologically the Jamaat-e-Islami and the CPM can go together. Now, in the coming elections, with the alignments and realignments, and the Jamaat-e-Islami is with the Congress, and Balan, as a CPM leader, a veteran senior party leader, he is giving a warning to the people that if the Congress wins and form the government, it will be the
right. I think Mr. Paul, you're repeating yourself now, but it's a convenient shifting of the goalpost, and it's just like you taking that shot at the Congress camp in Karnataka over the bulldozer politics. You're just finding it very politically convenient to make these charges. Navya Haridas, do you think the left party is now caught in this quagmire when it comes to addressing the Jamaat-e-Islami issue inside Kerala? Because on certain issues, they were very happy to take its support.
No, yes,
Navya Haridas. That question is for Navya Haridas. Navya Haridas, can you hear me? We'll try to connect with her. But Rahul Ishwar, this is the point that I've been raising. You can't have these two yardsticks when it comes to taking support from organizations like the Jamaat-e-Islami. And it seems now that the Congress, in the left in Kerala, is trying to kind of play both these games at the same time.
Ayushman ji, I am a Hindu right-wing activist, I am a Gandhian. Let me be very blunt and open. Kerala's community calculation is 50 to 55% Hindus, 27 to 29% Muslims, 17.5 to 18.5% Christians. It's very obvious. And majority of minority votes, majority of Muslim Christian votes goes to Congress. So right now, CPM wants to play the indirect, subconscious Hindu majoritarian card, and they are saying Jamaat-e-Islami will come and Muslims will get this. See, at least let us be open regarding these things. See, if it is a right of center party who is openly calling for Hindu consolidation, we can at least understand, because I belong to that spectrum. But CPM is playing a dubious, interesting, indirect game, something like a cat drinking milk by closing their eyes, saying that Jamaat-e-Islami will come. Jamaat-e-Islami is a minor force in Kerala because Muslim League is a very well respected, accepted party across the aisle. Even BJP presidents like Sridharan Pilla have gone on to say good words about Muslim League. League is a very inclusive, pluralistic platform. So nobody will get scared of League. CPM wants a scarecrow. That scarecrow is Jamaat-e-Islami, and CPM is indirectly playing into the majoritarian Hindu bank, and everyone knows this. See, the sad thing about politicians is politicians believe no one else will understand the lies they tell. So AK Balan was playing into that particular thing, saying that Jamaat-e-Islami will come and cause riot, and CPM in Kerala is trying to consolidate the Hindu vote bank. The irony just died a double death. CPM
Absolutely.
in Kerala is trying to consolidate.
No, but I can understand. But I can understand the concern of the left party, given the fact that aligning with the Jamaat-e-Islami as well as its different ancillary organizations has given the UDF the edge in several local body elections. It has given a slight edge to them. So what the Communist Party seems to be trying to do is to break that support by turning to the other side. But it's a very convenient game that's being played by a party.
Just one sentence, if I can say.
Yeah, go ahead.
Be communal, but at least be sincere when you are communal.
Absolutely.
Please be sincere. If you are communal, if you are playing to Hindu sentiments, you have to at least be sincere about it.
Yeah.
See, Jamaat-e-Islami has a force, and Jamaat-e-Islami has evolved its own stand regarding Islamic Rashtra, just like the Hindu Rashtra idea has evolved. So Jamaat-e-Islami is more aligned to the mainstream. People like PFI, Popular Front of India, is banned, and Muslim League is more acceptable. So CPM wants a scarecrow so that they can consolidate the Nair, Irava, Hindu vote bank in a big way, and everyone knows this. And a person of the stature of Sebastian Paul, sir, I would humbly request, should be open and honest enough to, politically honest enough to say that we are trying to consolidate the Hindu vote.
Yeah, just say that this is our political strategy. Religion might be the opium for the masses, but great for politics of the left, it seems. Navya Haridas, you want to come in and make that point?
Yes. I could view it in a different angle because we know that in the recent election also LDF and UDF both stood as the same, both sides of the same coin. And UDF and LDF were in alliance in everywhere in the places where BJP has any possibility to win. And in the coming election also, in the 2026 assembly election also, they have publicly revealed that wherever BJP has a possibility to win, there we are going to unite. We must be standing together to defeat BJP. So LDF and UDF both are concentrated on these Muslim votes, especially Muslim League and Jamaat-e-Islami, PDP, SDPI, all these Muslim oriented organizations. They are seeking the support. And we know that in the previous elections also, this Muslim League and all these their sub divisions have been stood as the backbone for winning the elections. So there is a majority vote bank belonging to the Muslim League and Jamaat-e-Islami, and we could see up to an extent PDP also. So it's not concerned about the security of the nation. It's not concerned about the solemnity of the nation or never the secularism. They are just raising the issues like Muslim votes and repeating another Marat. What intention is behind saying that Marat is going to get repeated again? Because Marat is was discussed as an was discussed in the whole worldwide. We couldn't even now accept the whatever happened in Marad. So
Right.
that was such a pathetic incident. And in public, Sri AK Balan is saying that this Marad will be getting repeated. So
Right.
Marad is a very sensible issue. Even now the cases are going on. Even now the people are in jail. And
Right,
even
but
now
Ms.
the
Haridas,
families
at
are
the same
suffering.
time, as Rahul Ishwar is pointing out, the aim is the vote bank that you pander to at the end of the day. So the CPM is trying to make a ploy for a call for that. But clearly, I think you feel that your electorate, your vote bank, as well as the BJP supporters will see right through it. But let's get a better view of the Jamaat-e-Islami and its positioning inside Kerala. Umair Junaidi is also with us. Umair, when it comes to the Jamaat-e-Islami, clearly we've seen that it's given that political edge to the Congress camp in the local body elections as well as the smaller elections. But the concern always emerges over its credentials within the wider secular pattern of the Congress party. This is the same organization that gave a platform to Khalid Mishal of the Hamas in Malappuram during the siege in Gaza. At the same time, in 2019, it was an ISIS recruitment case where several of the accused were linked to bodies linked to the Jamaat-e-Islami. There are big concerns that the BJP continues to raise when it comes to national security concerning the Jamaat-e-Islami.
See, whenever there are the elections, it might be BJP or the parties who want to get the Hindu consolidated votes. So the technique is Musalman ko gali do, Hindu ko ek karo. This has been following since 2014, and the same footsteps is being followed by the CPI. I'm not talking about Jamaat-e-Islami. Jamaat-e-Islami has its own identity, its own ideology, and they have own method of running their own organization. It might be Gaza, it might be Hamas, it might be Palestine, or several other issues. What they feel like supporting, they support them too. But it is the political power hunger which is now very common in India. If you talk about BJP and other parties who want to rule the nation or the state, their first step is to target any Muslim organization, be it Jamaat-e-Islami or any Muslim organization. It might be PFI, it might be the Muslim-dominated party like Social Democratic Party of India or All India Majlis Ittihadul Muslimin, whatever it is. The funda is very clear. Musalman ko gali do, Hindu ko vote lo. Seat chahiye to Musalman ko gali dena hoga. That is the footsteps that people, the politicians who are hungry of power, are following since 2019.
But Umair,
2014,
but Umair, what should people think when in Malapura, Khalid Mashal of the Hamas is espousing his hate speech right at a Jamaat rally? What should the people of Kerala and the wider country think about the Jamaat-e-Islami then?
People of Kerala are literate, and that's why they have been keeping BJP away since long years, and they know whom to support and what to think of what is going on. We need not sit here and clarify for the people of Kerala. They are much more intelligent than us. So the Kerala is knowing every single point what is going on in the politics and who is playing what. It might be BJP, CPIM, Congress, Jamaat-e-Islami or any other political party. So let the time come, they will again give their verdicts, and it will be in favor of the good governance.
Right. Rahul Ishwar and then Navya. Rahul Ishwar, I want to take that point to you.
Just quick
Right, yeah. My mandate, my politics is pretty much the argument coming in from Umair.
For a national media, please understand Kerala has 4 major voting bloc. One is Nayar, Hindu forward caste community, including Brahmins and all. Then Hindu backward community, majority is Idava. Then 17 to 18.5% Christians and 27 to 29% Muslims. This is the honest thing. And a good percentage of people will be secular and non-identity oriented. They may vote on policy, they may vote on plank, they may vote on candidates. Everywhere in India,
The
this
purpose
is
of election is that, sir. But
This
you
is
people
right,
Let him make his point.
I have only one submission. What CPM is showing is classic pseudo-secularism. What CPM is showing is dishonest. What CPM is showing is indirectly fueling all kind of communal hatred. And as Navyaji rightly said, invoking Marad is very, very sad. See, because many community, including Hindu and Muslim community, a lot of our Hindu brothers lost their life. So, it was a very painful thing. And a person of the stature of AK Balan coming and invoking, saying that massacres will happen is extremely painful. And it is not because they are sincere to Hindu community. That's the point. It is not that AK Balanji or CPM is sincere to Hindu community. They simply want to scare. They want to give a message. Anyway, BJP is not coming to power. So
basically, the fight, who is good Hindu political party is the fight between CPIM and BJP in Kerala.
Right. I mean, pretty much that's the inkling that's coming in, that the CPIM is pretty much gunning for the Hindu vote bank currently. That's pretty much the inkling from this entire pitch that's come in from AK Balan. Navya, as well as Mr. Paul, I want to bring this point that you've been raising all of these issues about the Jamaat-e-Islami, about how big a threat it is. Navya, your party is at the center. Mr. Paul, your party is at the head of the state. Where is the action that's coming in? You've made a pitch that if the Jamaat-e-Islami is allowed to come to power, there will be communal riots at the scale of Marad. But where is the action that's coming in? I mean, beyond words, there has to be some punitive action on the ground to back up your political claims. Because as Umair and even Rahul Ishwar is pointing out, beyond the rhetoric of politics, you may not see the political gains of this narrative coming in the state of Kerala.
As I told, the case is not yet complete. It's not finished yet. The cases are continuing. The Marad issue is still a burning issue in Kerala. We are still discussing the issues and the bad night that Marad have given us. And BJP actually, it's not involved in this controversy. It's a direct hit from the side of the LDF against UDF. And the leader, AK Balan, has publicly announced that Jamaat-e-Islami will be taking the Home Ministry department and Marad will be getting repeated. So they are just rising provoking the Hindus or provoking the communism and the communal issues in Kerala and trying to bring about the communal riots.
Right.
So we... while in one side we could see that BJP is always seeking votes in the name of the development only. We are putting aside the last 11 years development made by the Modi government and we are seeking votes. But the LGF and UDF doesn't have any development.
You're still a minor player at the end. At the end of the day. But Umair, you also can't ignore the fact that the Trivandrum elections, BJP saw a major victory. So it's a slow and steady race at the end of the day, and the BJP is making inroads.
That's the fight going on. Just
right.
because
but it's all about. See, I agree. It's all about who plays it. I agree. It's all about who plays it smartly. But
Islami, Muslim community and Muslim organizations are getting blamed. So what I want to say is stop blaming the Muslims. In order to get your hunger fulfilled, you want to target Muslim organizations. That will not be taken. That will not be taken. That will not be handled right now. The BJP is the communal party who does the politics on the basis of Kabristan or Shamshan. It is the same party who said आतंकवादियों के कपड़े देखकर उनकी पहचान होनी चाहिए. And these people talk about the policies. It is like शैतान के मुंह में राम हो.
Right.
So stop doing this.
Right. Mr. Paul, do you want to react to what Umair is saying, that this is nothing to do with the Jamaat-e-Islami? This is just a fight between the left and the BJP trying to vie for some level of votes, given the fact that the UDF has the edge in the last few elections. We've seen the trend shifting towards the UDF.
I think the controversial statement made by Mr. Balan was only rhetoric in the election context.
Oh, now it's rhetorical. Okay.
It is not the official opinion or policy of the CPM.
I think we've got that
CPM
concession now from Mr. Paul, at least, that it was just a rhetorical statement and there's no
political honesty.
Yeah, so a great moment of political honesty. Mr. Paul, please continue.
He has said certain things, just evoked a national debate like this. But Marad is a painful memory, a lingering one, and it's only natural that when we say about Islamic outfits like Jamaat-e-Islami or some other parties, we have to remind the people of the tragic happenings in Marad at that time and the necessity for building a persistence not to repeat such incidents. That is why the CPM is creating a wider secular platform and presenting these matters to the people.
Right, so it's just a political calling card. I think, Rahul Ishwar, I think you were hoping for this at the beginning of the debate, that level of political honesty will come. Go ahead.
Yeah, to be honest, beyond rhetoric, Ayushman ji and our audience should respect that political honesty, because sometimes in debates, we simply fight for the point we are supposed to represent. And a person who was MP earlier, a person who was a very known intellectual in Kerala, left-leaning intellectual in Kerala, admitting that is very nice, because we should have more and more political honesty in our discourses. Whether we belong to right, left or center doesn't matter. Whether we are Hindu, Muslim or Christian doesn't matter. I think Balan sir should walk back the statement. I think already CPM has started the mechanism. People like Govinda Marsh, who is the head of CPM, has started walking back the statement, because our Muslim brothers are already insecure. We need not pour oil over their insecurity. They are already feeling targeted and victimized in many senses. Let us not provoke them. We have other ways to consolidate Hindu community. Let us have a Gandhian way of positively uniting Hindus rather than targeting Muslims. Let us spare Muslims and focus on real issues. Hindu suicides or family breakdowns. Hindu community has some structural issues, especially in Kerala. So we should focus on a positive agenda rather than creative a sense of otherizing of politics. See, in politics, the otherization is a very issue, not only in India, world over. Please remember, in foreign nations, we Indians are othered. In places like England, in places like New Zealand, in places like Canada, we are the other. So let us not create our own Muslim brothers as the other. Let us find real issues to fight. I hope CPM will course correct. CPM is the largest party in Kerala. So I hope they will course correct. That will only be good for Kerala, and I hope senior CPM leaders also listen to people like Sebastian Paul, sir.
Right, but at the same time, as Umair was also pointing out, this is pretty much now turned into a fight between the CPM and the BJP for that particular Hindu vote. And pretty much Mr. Paul has made it extremely clear this is a political rhetoric. Maybe he won't go hammer and tongs with that same narrative surrounding the Marad riots. But Navya, do you see that desperation coming in from the left? The UDF is on an upward trajectory. Umair has made that extremely clear. Jamaat will support whoever it has to based on issues. Do you see now that the left is gunning for the Hindu votes that you are trying to champion and consolidate for the sake of gaining more inroads in Kerala?
Yeah, definitely. The LDF has been criticized, and I think the senior leader AK Balan has also been criticized by the other leaders of the LDF, because now they are waiting for the statement. And I think the votes are taking place LDF itself, and in the leadership itself, it's been raised as a major issue. Because in the channels also, it's a huge discussion. It's not we can't say it as just a word or a political agenda. It's just beyond that.
Right, I think we've lost that line with her, but I think we'll leave it at that, because given the fact that the Kerala elections are also getting heated up with the political dynamics only continuing on all avenues inside Kerala. The fact of the matter is the UDF is on an upward trajectory, and it seems that given the communal calculations coming in within Kerala, the left is seeing an opportunity by taking on the Jamaat-e-Islami. The Jamaat-e-Islami has a controversial record, but you can see the political dividends that the UDF is taking advantage of. And now it's turning into a fight between the left and the BJP. But I want to thank all our guests for joining us on the broadcast and decoding that for us. Also, thank you to Mr. Paul for highlighting the fact that the CPM is only making a political narrative, because despite the charges coming in against the Jamaat-e-Islami, be it the BJP at the center or the left in the state of Kerala, we don't see that punitive action coming in from either the central government or the state government. We're shifting focus to another story that dominates our lives 24/7 pretty much, ladies and gentlemen, is the gig economy. Now, a 25-year-old delivery partner working for a quick commerce platform, this one was Zepto, he lost his life in a road accident in Hyderabad. The incident, which occurred on late Monday night near the city's area of Mehdipatnam, sparked a fresh wave of outrage from gig worker unions over the high-pressure environment that is created by ultra-fast delivery promises. Now, according to the police, Abhishek was heading towards Tolichowki in Hyderabad on his two-wheeler to deliver an order. Now, while navigating the busy road, he reportedly lost control and his bike skidded. A private vehicle bus following him very closely, it ran over him, resulting in his death on the spot. The death has reignited the 10-minute delivery debate. Now, we ask the big question, if the rush is denying gig workers their rights across the country. We've seen several protests from gig workers who are saying that they need better rights, they need better conditions to work. But is this entire 10-minute delivery model that has now spread across different e-commerce platforms, is it denying gig workers their rights? Let's get to our guest. Ajay Dua, former Commerce Secretary, is joining us on the broadcast. Sir, of course, it was a groundbreaking innovation when it comes to the e-commerce platforms, this 10-minute delivery, anything you need delivered to you in 10 minutes with different kind of hubs which are created in and around cities. But we are seeing these concerns which are raised by several of these gig workers when it comes to the conditions in which they operate and the pressure that they are under. How do you see these developments coming in, that they're trying to raise their voice for better working conditions as well as an easing of this 10-minute delivery model?
Thank you for having me in this discussion. I think what has happened in Hyderabad, that's rather unfortunate. It could have happened anywhere else in the country, and particularly when certain incentives are linked by the platforms to how many deliveries are made in a day to to qualify for an incentive, and how many deliveries turn out to be late. So with these kind of pressures being there, both on the plus side as well as the minus, I think the model itself needs to be questioned. Whether, given the traffic conditions in India, and this is an urban phenomena, as you know, most deliveries within 10 minutes, etc., are in the urban areas. We are a highly congested towns. Traffic always mixed. It's not that the delivery boy is able to maintain the speed. So I do think that this provision needs to be revisited. Now, who would revisit is, as of now, also a question, because only two states, Karnataka and Rajasthan, have as yet enacted the gig workers because of a social benefit scheme. Others have not yet got into it. They are waiting for the Social Security Code of 2020 to kick in, for which the central government has now invited the objections on the rules which it has framed.
Right.
So I do think that, and I do hope that this issue of putting unnecessary pressure on a driver. Mm-hmm. And as you know, most of these drivers are teenagers or just about getting into their 20s. They do have the incentive to kind of drive fast if their remuneration is linked up to it. At the same time, I'd like to remind you that when this discussion took place on the 1st of January or 31st of December, when the gig workers had gone on strike, at that point of time, this was denied by the owner of Zepto, which is a very large platform and employs has several thousand boys working for it. He said, we don't even tell these guys by what time it has to be delivered. But he did contradict himself, because when asked, he also said that there is an incentive at the end of the day, which is counted, saying how many deliveries do you make. So even if you may not have said that, go and deliver in 10 minutes time.
Right.
But when you say that during a day, if you go beyond 10 deliveries, you are entitled to an incentive.
Right, but Mr. Dua, let's get to our other guest also. Sheikh Salahuddin, president of the Telangana Gig and Platform Workers Union, is also joining us, as well as Dilip Cherian, brand and image consultant. Mr. Salahuddin, when it comes to this entire case, of course, it's a very tragic case, but the criticism that's coming in is that it's a very competitive platform when it comes to trying to earn money on these particular fast delivery platforms. Partners can choose when and where to work. They can add or remove work areas anytime. There is no participation requirements beyond a chosen gig, and it's not designed for full-time benefits. So pretty much you set your own hours when it comes to this kind of work, and clearly it becomes challenging because the remuneration is also there. So given the fact that these are the conditions, a lot of people try to get into this sector for a quick buck, and then these unfortunate things happen. But if there is a sense of danger, if there is a sense of pressure, a gig worker can completely turn off the entire service. Given that option, do you think the criticism that these platforms are facing is somewhat unwarranted?
Okay, thank you first of all. First we have to, who is the worker, full-time and part-time, that is secondary. But not full-time employee creating, right? Not stable employment, okay? Not designing to provide the livelihood from the security, okay? And at the same time, gig workers cannot traditional as a job creators, okay? And economy cannot able to India as young workforce in the scale, okay? Cannot sustain from formalized employment, okay? This is the public sector as hearing, okay? And at the same time, supplementary income onwards, okay? This is not to be designed like full time, and this is the designing as a supplementary, okay? And here is a key point: government is represent the celebrate from gig workers as a job creator, am right?
Right.
But gig workers job as showing from the official the employment status, okay?
Okay.
The platform companies has platform companies has credit to endorse from the India is new economy source, okay?
Okay.
The policy concerns here, the largest food delivery platform companies, it's like stop the gaps, okay? The secondary, the gaps between the the state treading as the parliamentary employment guarantee, permanently employment guarantee, right?
But I'll tell you where the problem lies over there. And Dilip Cherian, I want you to come in on that. When you look at all of these platforms and the kind of rights that the gig workers are demanding, if you just look at the average work that gig workers do, the average work as per the biggest kind of e-commerce platforms, average work in 2025 was 38 days a year. The average hours a day is just 7 hours. Only 2.3% worked over 250 days. No assigned shifts or areas. Given the loose nature of the work itself, can the gig workers demand these many safety nets when it comes to these kind of platforms?
I think that we need to look at it slightly differently.
Okay.
Let's look at it from the point of view of how these unicorns are actually raising their valuations and raising the expectations of these workers, however few days that they work. In fact, to my view, for these brands, for these large companies, it is the ability to turn these people around quite often, which actually works to their advantage. Secondly, these are the very same workers who work only for a few days on one platform, shift to another platform, who actually tend to behave dangerously. So what can you do? What you have to do is, you've got an algo, there is ways of monitoring it. There's also ways of monitoring the hardware that they are using. So the idea is that you cannot control the rampant disregard for the safety of these workers, because the fact is that these large branded companies believe that their valuation is based on having enough churn of workers, which is why, as you rightly said, And I'm not quite sure of the statistics because they're not coming from a verified source. The fact is that you need to have much more granular information, and you have an example right next door of China, which has figured out how to make sure that gig workers are not exploited but are utilized.
Right, but this entire 10-minute delivery and model, and Mr. Dua, I want you to come in on this. Given the fact that this tragedy has happened in Hyderabad, this also raises the question about how these gig delivery workers, conduct themselves on the road. I mean, we've seen it time and time and again. You look at the e-rickshaws, you look at the e-scooters. They're driving on the wrong side. They're zipping through traffic just to make that deadline. If the platform is giving you a choice to come off it, to not work given certain conditions on the road, to even report certain disruptions which are taking place, because time and time again you can see it in your app that an order is delayed, there is some disruption, it's raining, there's fog. There are different factors which come to play within those platforms. The e-commerce platforms are saying that we've put all our safeguards in place, but there has to be some responsibility of the gig worker itself. How do you react to that?
I have one point to make, which will probably answer some of your questions right away. It is the gig workers do not have any interaction whatsoever with the person who is employed there. They only get their messages and they give a feedback, if at all, is on the algorithms which all these big platforms have. These guys get an order. They are all tech savvy. All these boys, I must reiterate to say, they know how to use a computer. They know how to be able to be communicated with. But if they do not know who's the person, they don't know the manager who is there. They stand outside. If you go outside any of these platforms, 20, 30 guys with their scooterettes or scooters will be standing there and just waiting to get a message on their phone. They just repeatedly keep looking at that. The fact of this is an issue, certainly, that they are a source of low-cost labor availability, but as their very definition is, they are looking for flexible employment.
Right.
They are not looking for a permanent job. If they were permanent, and it was easy to get a permanent job, then I'm quite sure that many of them, if not almost all, would have moved to getting a permanent job, security there, and along with the security comes a whole lot of social security benefits, be it medical insurance, be it a retrenchment allowance, and the occupational injury allowances, etc. These are the kind of, but what I would like to say on the other side is that, though Dilip did mention about China, I'm not sure China has 200 million gig workers. As of 24th of December, Dilip, their council, the cabinet, they can use it a longer word for it, their cabinet resolved that we need to do something for these 200 million workers, but they also would have, along the benefits for the workers would come also the obligations upon them, saying that we cannot be changing jobs thereafter at the end of 38 days if they'll start looking for another job. So there would be a balance, and I'm hoping that the model which comes out of China maybe in 2 or 3 months' time, it'll get used by our Social Security Code of 2020, which is yet to take effect, because in that we have also provided that the gig and platform workers will get social benefits.
Right, we'll have to wait and see how that plays out, because Dilip Cherian, if you look at the West, you have a lot of these students, Postmates, DoorDash, they do all of these, and Uber as well. They do all of these services just to earn a little extra cash on the side, but they have other jobs, they have other, they have other commitments at the same time. Do you think that philosophy of how the West looks at gig workers doesn't apply in India? We have to look at it a little differently?
We have to look at it very differently, because let's be very, very clear. The gig worker in India as Mr. Dua has said, does not have a choice of almost any other regular form of income.
Right.
It is not supplemental income. The platforms would like to portray them as supplemental income, but most of them change jobs because one app or the other, one algo or the other is penalizing them. So they move for a while and then they come back to it. So let's be very, very clear. The fact is that, I've just written a piece on LinkedIn called the effect of the blink. And the fact is that many of these virtually illegitimate kind of promises that platforms are making are not what the customer actually definitely needs. You're creating a race to the bottom, and that is the dangerous thing. And I think rather than the European model, we should look at the China model as and when we get more details, because that may be more applicable to an economy and a workforce like India.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Dilip Cherian, and I want to thank the rest of our guests for joining us on this broadcast. A very enlightening discussion on the state of the gig worker currently in India and the road forward, given the fact that these demands are coming in from the gig worker unions. But shifting focus to West Bengal, where we saw high drama in Kolkata today as Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee rushed to the residence of Pratik Jain, the head of the top political consultancy group IPAC, amid the Enforcement Directorate raids, during which she claimed officials attempted to seize her party, the Trinamool Congress's hard disks, as well as internal documents and sensitive data. Mamata Banerjee led organized protests this afternoon and will lead a big march tomorrow. Both the agency and the BJP cited that it was the Chief Minister who tried to scuttle the probe. I'm joined by Mahesh Jethmalani, Senior Advocate of the Supreme Court and former MP, on the broadcast to decode this further. Thank you, Mr. Jethmalani, for joining us on the broadcast. We've seen this time and time again. How do you see this drama unfolding in West Bengal? Pretty much a redux of 2019 when Mamata Banerjee defended the then DGP.
I read it as a question, exactly what you say. To use your words, it's a question of obstruction of justice. It's an unwarranted interference in a legitimate investigation. You may not like the timing, right? You want to claim the victim card, yes. But you can't go there with two police officers, intimidate ED officers like you've done in the past, beaten them up. You're a repeat offender, right? It happened in Shahjahan Sheikh's case. Not Mamata personally, but Shahjahan Sheikh's goons did that last time, right? So this is a repeated now tendency of the West Bengal political establishment. And it just shows that Mamata Banerjee has a lot to hide, and to bring the Commissioner of Police of Calcutta and the DGP of West Bengal to the premises is a show of intimidation. So, this matter now, the crime she has committed today of theft, house trespass, and criminal intimidation, all this right now has to be investigated by the CBI.
Right,
but of course, you'll have to make an application of the ED will have to make an application to the court concerned, to the Delhi High Court, to transfer this investigation or to let the CBI investigate.
Right, so clearly an obstruction of justice is the pitch that's coming in from Mahesh Jethmalani. But Mr. Jethmalani, at the same time, given the fact that we saw the drama in 2019, we saw the drama around Shah Jahan Sheikh, the TMC is pretty confident that this happens time and time again, but no punitive action is taken against the Chief Minister for, as what you're saying, is the obstruction of justice when it comes to the operations of these central agencies.
Well, I mean, that's the whole point. If you let somebody off the hook, right, and you don't do anything in the meantime, keep it on the boil, right, and then these things will happen if you. So that should have been pursued. I mean, what happened with Shahjahan Sheikh, etc. But the FIRs are there. I think the investigation is still on. The post-poll violence of 2021 charge sheets have been filed. So it's not as if nothing is happening.
Right. But Mr. Jethmalani, the charge that's coming in from the TMC is that this was a raid on a TMC office, that there was an attempt to take documents away which were linked to the TMC, claiming that the ED is following the BJP's orders to take sensitive information of the TMC right ahead of the Bengal elections. How do you read that angle that's coming in and that spin that's coming in from Mamata Banerjee?
There were files which pertain to Hawala transactions by her political consultant, right, Pratik Jain. That's the ED case. That's what they were looking at, Hawala payments made to him, right, and then probably passed on to other people. I don't know. But That's what the exact nature of the case is. But why would anybody want to tell, the TMC has a very patent strategy. What is there that the BJP wants to get through the ED? Or Mr. Amit Shah would want to get from the ED? First of all, the ED is an independent organization, doesn't act at all. But even then, what would they want to get? Her strategy is very clear. She has a vote bank which she cultivates, nurses, pampers, right? She's got a cadre, and that cadre exists all the time. In every election, or every pre-election also, and every post-election also, indulges in acute violence. That's a strategy. Intimidate voters to come to the polling booth, and nurture your own vote bank.
Right, but Mr. Jethmalani, talking about the fact that, as you're pointing out, that several of these cases from 2019 to even Shahjahan Sheikh to now even this case now, it's in the legal quagmire, they're still on the boil. But it seems that the TMC always gains the political mileage right ahead of the elections, because we're going to see Mamata Banerjee now mobilize her cadre across the state to take on the BJP as well as the central agencies.
Well, I don't know. That's becoming a little bit of a tired tactic, isn't it? I mean, if you're going to all the time scream victimhood when there are legitimate investigations going on. There's been an education scam. There've been so many scams in West Bengal. Apart from Shahjahan Sheikh's, activities, cow smuggling and all that, right? But and violence and rape and all that. So there have been many cases. They're in the pipeline, right? There have been murder and rape of supporters of the BJP in the post-poll violence. Their charge sheets have been filed, as I said, right? So it's not that everything is not happening, and this pattern will go on because there is a lot of crime in West Bengal at the instance of the TMC. There's no doubt about that. It's basically a loot and scoot government. There is all into patronage. What is their real pattern? What is the real system of governance, their strategy or their governance strategy? We've not seen any evidence of it.
Right.
Basically, it's riddled with corruption. The state is riddled with corruption, and the police are hand in glove with the state.
Right, but Mr. Jethmalani, my final question, we've seen this time and time again, this same narrative, these same tactics play out, as you're pointing out. She's often accused of out-lefting the left party in West Bengal. But do you think this tactic has run its course?
And certainly, I think there are winds of change coming in right now. I think, the fact that there is a lot of SIR activity in West Bengal, and you've had a lot of people, Bangladeshi voters, being sent back across the border, right? There can be winds of change. Margins have not been very high in many constituencies last time, and I think that will make a change. A, and B, there's been no governance, right? She's had basically a vote bank, a cross-border vote bank of illegal immigrants, which have swelled her vote bank.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Jethmalani, for sharing your perspective. So that pitch coming in against Mamata Banerjee as the fight continues to escalate between the TMC and the Enforcement Directorate after the raids at IPAC in Kolkata. We're shifting focus to a big international story, ladies and gentlemen. Let's decode the tango that's taking place between Bangladesh and Pakistan. For more than 5 decades after Bangladesh's bloody birth in 1971, relations with Pakistan remain defined by distance, distrust and unresolved historical trauma. Diplomatic contact was limited, trade negligible, and high-level engagement rare. Today, however, that long-frozen relationship is showing unmistakable signs of a thaw. Now, CNN News 18 has accessed an explosive intel note on the present Bangladesh-Pakistan cooperation in various fields. Now, according to top intelligence sources, the strategic opportunity was seized by Rawalpindi the moment Dhaka's India-aligned leadership collapsed. In recent months, Bangladesh has moved steadily, if cautiously, to expand political, economic and strategic ties with Pakistan, marking one of the more consequential recalibrations in South Asian diplomacy in years. At the diplomatic level, both countries have revived structured engagement after years of inertia. Senior officials have resumed bilateral consultations, while foreign policy establishments on both sides now speak openly of normalizing relations. There have been over a dozen high-level interactions after mid-2024. The first foreign secretary-level talks in 15 years occurred in April 2025. This was later followed by Pakistani Foreign Minister Ishaq Dar's visit in Dhaka in August 2025, the first after 2012. Further, Pakistan's Interior Minister visited in July 2025 to discuss counterterrorism, proposing MOUs for police training exchanges. Most notably, diplomatic visits have risen 73% in 2025. While neither government has attempted to rewrite history or formally resolve outstanding issues related to the 1971 war, the emphasis has shifted towards forward-looking cooperation. Economic engagement has emerged as the most tangible pillar of the rapprochement. After decades of indirect or minimal exchange, Bangladesh and Pakistan have restarted direct trade, particularly in essential commodities and industrial inputs. Both countries have revived the Joint Economic Commission after 20 years. Pakistan has positioned itself as a supplier of rice, cotton, textile, chemicals and other intermediaries that Bangladesh's export-driven garment industry depends on. In 2023, bilateral trade was approximately 1.5 billion. In 2024, Pakistan's exports to Bangladesh saw a 27% increase and a further 20% growth year-on-year by December 2025. For Dhaka, this diversification helps reduce reliance on a narrow group of trading partners at a time when global supply chains remain fragile. Institutional mechanisms have also reactivated. The two countries have convened joint economic forums that had been dormant for years, signaling an intent to move beyond ad hoc transactions towards more predictable commercial ties. Discussions on customs, facilitation, shipping, logistics, and mutual recognition of standards suggest that both sides are laying groundwork for sustained trade growth rather than symbolic gestures. On the cultural front, the Pakistan-Bangladesh Knowledge Corridor initiative was launched in 2025, including 500 scholarships to Bangladeshi students over the 5 years, with 25% reserved for women, focused on fields like medicine and artificial intelligence. Connectivity, long missing a link, is beginning to improve plans, and what we are seeing is that there are plans to resume direct air travel between major cities after a gap of more than a decade. They carry both practical and symbolic weight, and the first Pakistani cargo ship docked in the Chittagong port in November 2024 after Sheikh Hasina's ouster. Maritime links between ports have also been strengthened, lowering costs and shortening delivery times. Perhaps the most sensitive and geopolitically significant dimension of the renewed engagement lies in defense cooperation. While still an exploratory stage, discussions on military training and potential defense procurement mark a notable departure from past caution. Pakistan's Joint Chiefs Chairman General Sahir Shamshad Mirza met Yunus in October. Bangladesh participated in Pakistan's 2025 naval exercise with advanced talks on the potential sale of J-17 fighter jets to Bangladesh's Air Force in January 2026. For Pakistan, the reset offers an opportunity to re-enter a relationship long overshadowed by history and to regain diplomatic relevance in East and South Asia. The renewed engagement has also prompted unease in New Delhi, where officials are closely watching developments against the backdrop of rising Islamist and anti-Hindu violence within Bangladesh itself. Indian policymakers fear that this internal trend, combined with Pakistan's long-standing associations with extremist groups operating across South Asia, could introduce new security risks into the region. While Dhaka has consistently asserted its commitment to counterterrorism and religious pluralism, India analysts worry that closer political or defense ties with Islamabad may embolden hardline elements or complicate intelligence cooperation at a time when regional militancy remains a persistent threat. From New Delhi's perspective, Pakistan's unresolved record on curbing extremist networks makes any expansion of its influence in East and South Asia a matter of strategic vigilance rather than routine diplomatic realignment. And that's all we have to pack in on the show. Up next, we're going to take a quick break and then brass tacks with Zakir Jacob.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
Enforcement Directorate now, and we'd like to break it before our viewers. ED Headquarters Unit is currently conducting search action at 10 premises, and this is to do with the searches at the IPAC premises in West Bengal in Kolkata. 6 in West Bengal, says the ED. 4 are also in Delhi under PMLA in connection with the coal smuggling syndicate led by Anup Maji, used to steal and illegally excavate coal from ECL leasehold areas of West Bengal. The search action was taken in a peaceful manner. This is what the ED says, till the arrival of the Chief Minister of West Bengal, along with the police personnel and officers of West Bengal administration, who forcibly removed physical documents and electronic evidences in 2 of the premises. So the ED is putting out with every possible detail, mentioning about the disruption that was caused by the West Bengal Chief Minister, who not just entered the premises while a live raid by ED was being conducted. The ED is also accusing officially that the Chief Minister took away certain documents which were part of the investigation process, which eventually the ED had to seize. My colleague Anshul continues to be with us. Anshul, official word by the ED putting out the statement directly also accusing the Chief Minister of what she's done.
Well, yes, the Enforcement Directorate has gone ahead and put out this statement on social media and have also released this entire statement in which they have said that the entire raids were actually going on peacefully right before the Chief Minister arrived over there and went ahead and disrupted the entire raids that were being conducted by the Enforcement Directorate. It has also been alleged from the side of the Enforcement Directorate that some documents have been taken by Mamata Banerjee herself and which could actually disrupt the entire investigation and which could disrupt the entire raids as well. So a big claim being made by the Enforcement Directorate that after the Chief Minister of West Bengal reached over there at the residence of Pratik Jain, then there was disruption that was made in these raids, and this could actually spell trouble for Mamata Banerjee at this point, because remember, if at all ED deems to take any sort of a legal action, then probably an FIR could also be registered against the West Bengal Chief Minister, because the ED in its statement has claimed that Mamata Banerjee has disrupted the operation, which essentially means that Mamata Banerjee has stopped government officials from working on duty, and this is a cognizable offence. And if the ED deems it necessary